Welcome to True Terror Narrative.
When I became newly single after my 2-year relationship ended, I went right back to living alone, and right back to swiping on Tinder and all the other dating apps. I'd already been single for a few months at that point, and in that time I'd met up with a couple people here and there. Nothing serious came from any of it, but I was trying. Somewhere in that stretch of time, I matched with a girl on Tinder named Tracy. We talked a little, and she gave me a Snapchat. But it fizzled out almost immediately into that annoying thing where she'd just watch my stories and never actually talk. That used to happen constantly when I was in college, so it wasn't new to me. But being in my late 20s and still doing the online dating thing, it felt different. It felt more embarrassing, more immature, like I was stuck in the same loop from years ago while knowing I should be past it. For context, I own a corner town home in a small community. If you're wondering what I do for work, I'm an accountant. The money's decent, honestly, but the job is painfully boring, like soul-sucking boring. After my ex moved out, I thought I'd love the privacy and the calm. At first, I did. But I'd say after the first month, that peace and quiet novelty wore off. Maybe I'm more of a relationship person than I want to admit. Or maybe I just need people around me. Either way, being alone was starting to get to me. And that's why I was constantly swiping, constantly trying to set up dates. Even if it was just to get out of the house and feel like I wasn't trapped in my own life. This happened last December. I posted something Christmas-related on my Snap story, just some random festive post, and of course, the person who replied was the last person I expected, Tracy. We hadn't spoken in weeks. She commented on my story and started a conversation about doing some Christmas-themed stuff together. We ended up actually talking for a while. Like a real conversation. Not just a couple messages. I suggested the most festive things I could think of. Going ice skating. Go into the village to see the decorations. That kind of thing. But she suggested something else. She said we should decorate my Christmas tree together. I told her I did have a fake tree, but it was still stored up in the attic. I hadn't put it up yet because, honestly, hauling it down is kind of a two-person job. She said she'd gladly come over and help, and I remember thinking, why not? I told her to come over around 9 o'clock that night. It was already dark when we made the plan. It must have been around 7:30, because I remember grabbing my keys in a rush and driving to the liquor store to buy a couple bottles of wine. When I got back home, I cleaned like crazy, vacuumed, swept, got everything looking decent. Ever since the breakup, all the cleaning things my girlfriend used to do were now on me. And I was reminded how fast a place gets dirty when you're not staying on top of it. When 9 p.m. rolled around, I was sitting upright on the couch with the TV on, pretending like I'd been casually watching a movie for a while. Like I wasn't waiting. Meanwhile, I'd set everything up to be cozy and relaxed. I just sat there, waiting for a message, waiting for the doorbell, and nothing happened. I sent her a follow-up like, "Let me know when you're on your way." After a while, I started thinking she was flaking. Then finally, round 9:30, she messaged and said she was outside. She walked in, and I was immediately shocked, because I had to look up at her. She was a couple inches taller than me. I'm 5'10", so she had to be at least 6 feet tall. The second thing I noticed was that she smelled like she'd completely drenched herself in perfume, like the scent hit me before she even fully stepped inside. We went straight to the couch and sat down. And she sat really close to me, so close our legs were touching. That's when I started getting confused about what I was even feeling. She looked a bit older than I expected. Maybe a little rough round the edges, and I don't know how else to describe it. And under that overpowering, cheap perfume smell, I couldn't ignore that there was also a faint hint of body odor. It honestly turned me off immediately. I asked if she wanted wine, and she said yes. So I poured 2 glasses while we talked. You ever meet someone you've been texting or DMing for a while? Then, when you finally see them in person, they're nothing like the version you built in your head. That was this. Something about her felt off, like she didn't pick up on certain social cues. I handed her a glass of murt, and we cheersed. I swear to God, almost instantly. She spilled a big drop of red wine onto my light blue couch. I kept my face calm, but inside I wanted to scream. I was like, "It's okay," and sprinted to the kitchen for a damp paper towel and a sponge. I ran back and started blotting it as fast as I could before it set. She kept apologizing over and over, and I kept telling her it was fine. After that, the whole vibe got tense. So to break the tension, I suggested we go get the tree out of the attic. I went up there, slid the big box with the tree parts over, and started handing down the pieces one by one. Each piece got bigger until we reached the largest section, the part I would only be able to handle safely going down the ladder alone. She grabbed it like it was nothing. I had to remind myself again. She was big. Once everything was down, we assembled the tree in the living room with Christmas music playing. I poured her more wine, drank more myself, and loosened up a little. Wine can make almost any awkward situation feel smoother, at least temporarily. After the tree was up, next were the ornaments. I told her my ornaments were in the crawl space. These weren't just random ornaments, either they were childhood decorations. My parents gave me bins and bins of old Christmas stuff. So I went down into the crawl space and started bringing the bins out one by one, leaving Tracy upstairs in the living room. While I was doing that, I started feeling woozy, like the wine was suddenly hitting me hard. I'm not a heavy drinker, so I do have a low tolerance, but this felt strange, because I didn't feel like I'd had enough to be that out of it. I grabbed the first bin and started dragging it up the stairs. By the time I reached the top, Tracy wasn't anywhere in sight. At first, I assumed she was in the bathroom. I called her name. No answer. I checked round again, and the bathroom was empty. I stood there confused, scratching my head, calling her name again and again. I messaged on Snapchat, but she didn't open it. I checked the 2 bedrooms too. She was gone. I couldn't believe it. She had basically snuck out on me. That's when I started thinking, did she think I was ugly? Did I say something weird? Even though, honestly, I wasn't really into her either. I collapsed onto the couch, which suddenly felt way more comfortable than before. As far as I remember, I kept checking my phone to see if she opened my Snap, and I just watched whatever was on TV. And then my memory faded. I swear everything just went black dot, and then I woke up in darkness. No lights, no TV. The room was completely dark and silent. I looked round and knew I was hearing things like tiny sounds that shouldn't have been there. I was still on the couch and I felt weak. My arms and legs were heavy, like they didn't want to move. But I managed to find my phone right under me. I grabbed it and checked the time. The second the screen lit up, I saw it, even though the phone light was facing toward me. The glow was bright enough to reveal the outline of a tall person standing in front of me. Just a silhouette, for some reason. I didn't scream. I just turned the phone back down, plunging the room into darkness again. I opened my mouth and whispered, "Tracy," hoping it was her, but also, in that moment, remembering how she disappeared earlier. I didn't even fully believe it. Whoever was standing there didn't respond. I picked my phone back up and turned on the flashlight. It was Tracy. She was standing right in front of me. She wasn't moving, just staring down at me. I felt glued to the couch. I don't know if it was pure fear or the effects of whatever she'd clearly laced me with, but I genuinely couldn't move right. My limbs felt weak and useless. All I could manage was saying her name a couple more times. Then she suddenly turned toward the stairs, and I swear she sprinted down them. All I heard were these disturbingly loud stomps as she ran downstairs. Then I heard something slam. Looking back, I'm pretty sure it was the front door. Everything felt warped and unreal in those minutes after I woke up. But with each passing minute, I got more clear-headed. Movement became easier. My strength started coming back. I checked Snapchat and saw her account was gone, like she blocked me or deleted it. I looked out the front window. No cars outside except mine and the neighbors. And then I realized something else. I never actually saw what vehicle she arrived in, or if she even arrived in one at all. I searched my entire house top to bottom, trying to see if anything was stolen. At first, the missing items seemed bizarre. Then it clicked and made perfect sense. Every single bottle of pills in my house was gone. All my vitamins and supplements, my bottles of Adderall, even a bottle of Oxy I'd been prescribed after surgery, but never fully used, those were in the drawer next to my bed. I also noticed a bottle of vodka was missing from the mini fridge in my room. But besides that, nothing else seemed taken. No electronics, no valuables, just drugs, pills, supplements, and alcohol. I called the police immediately and reported the robbery. I gave them a Snapchat username and explained that I never got her phone number and didn't really know anything about her identity besides the name she gave me, Tracy Gibson. The police knocked on my neighbor's door, since the homes are attached. Even though it was like 1 o'clock a.m., they questioned him with me standing there beside them. He said he didn't see or hear anything. He'd been asleep. After about 20 minutes, the police left. I made sure all my keys were still accounted for so she couldn't come back. But other than that, Tracy disappeared without a trace. And the more I think back, the more everything makes sense. I won't even call it a theory, because I'm convinced it's the truth. I think she was older than she claimed. I think she may have been homeless. And I think she had a serious drug addiction. I think she drowned herself in perfume to cover up the smell, but it was still there underneath. I'm sure she laced my wine when I was in the attic. I don't know how long I was out, but it was long enough for her to search my entire home and collect anything she could use or sell. Never forget how disturbing it was to wake up and see that tall silhouette standing over me while I couldn't move. And honestly, after that, I didn't even decorate the tree that year.